Hello, YouTube. Brin here from bigender.net. Although I say I'm from bigender.net, but I'm actually from Chicago. I guess I just want the site name out there. I've been trying to be better about consistently posting videos, so I think this is the third week in a row since my very extended break that I've posted video. I don't have a specific topic for this week, but I realized when I was going through my YouTube inbox that I received a few questions over the last year and a half that I've been doing this, and I've been really poor about using those to kick off video ideas, and in one case at least I actually promised that I would use it as a video topic, and I haven't, so I'll get to that one in this video as well. But I have a YouTube account, so you can send me emails there. You can send me an email directly to brin@bigender.net. You can also send me a question on Formspring if you don't want to identify yourself, so this way you can stay nice and anonymous. My username on Formspring is same as my YouTube, Brin Convenient. So just go there and post a question. Other people will be able to see that you asked, but, well, I don't know, maybe, but they'll be able to see my answer too. But it won't show your name if you don't want it to. So, let's see. The first question I have is from 013 Jane here on YouTube. And she says, since you are taking hormones, do you think there will ever come a point where it is awkward to maintain palm mode at work, even if you want to, due to the physical changes? And a related question is, how do I hide those physical changes now? So, I have been on hormones. I've been off of them for 2 one-month periods during the 2.5 years that I've been on them. And actually, it's pretty drastic. The changes when I go off of hormones for a month almost entirely reverses the changes that I had seen up to that point, which is somewhat frustrating sometimes. But to answer the question, I have not yet had any problems presenting male either at work or out in public. Every so often, if I have my hair down, I'll get ma'amed when I'm not expecting it or not aiming for that. But usually people, oh, sorry, you know. So I don't have any problem with being misgendered when presenting male at this point. Do I think I will in the future? I think I'd have to have some pretty serious development that I'm not yet having. This is a very friendly bra that I'm wearing, and so, you know, while I have some breast development, it's not, you know, terribly large, and the way that I hide it is with layers. So when I go to work, or when I'm presenting male, I'm almost always wearing one of these little camis that has the built-in bra shelf, built-in shelf bra. And then that plus a baggy shirt over the top is enough to give me a flatter chest appearance or obscure the fact that my chest isn't flat, and it sort of covers what little waist narrowing and hip widening that I've had. So I don't think that I'm likely to get, you know, any kind of sudden growth spurt that's going to make me incapable of presenting male in general and in work specifically, especially since people there are expecting me to be male anyway. So people's perceptions tend to lead them into however they're going to identify somebody. They'll just sort of let their own assumptions guide them. So let's see, second question from Kaylee Dahl here on YouTube as well. Do you feel that the activities you do as a boy are not okay for you to do in girl mode and vice versa? And how does this factor into your definition of being bigender? I think this is kind of like, is it okay for girls to play sports, you know? I don't really allow the gender that I'm presenting to prevent me from doing anything that I want to do. it's not like I do a lot of work on cars, but I on the occasions that I'm doing, I usually don't think about my presentation. But I wouldn't let presenting female stop me from, changing a car battery or changing a tire or, doing anything else. In fact, I have a friend who was in the process of trying to adopt a child, and she and her partner at the time had those freestanding radiators as the heaters in their apartment. And the caseworker told them that they would need to have those covered before they could place a child in their home. So I went over to their house and we bought a bunch of wood and screens, and I built them these radiator boxes to go over the radiators themselves, so that it would provide a barrier, not a very strong one, but enough to qualify so that they could have a child placed in their home. But of course, I did that presenting female, and I was out in their garage the whole time, and visible to anybody that walks by, using a circular saw and a power drill, or using a drill and power tools and various things to put these things together, and it never got in my way. And I don't know that I would let presenting as a boy stop me from doing anything traditionally feminine either. I really abhor gender segregating activities. So the idea that somebody can't do something because she's a girl, or somebody can't do something because he's a boy. Even if I weren't trans, I hope that I would not set those examples for my daughters. I try to make sure my daughters know that them being a girl isn't a barrier for them to do anything that they want to do. They're comic book fans, they play sports, but they also, play dress up and pretend games, and anything that they want to do, they're able to do, not because they're gendered one way or the other. So, no is the simple answer to that question. And if I can find the pictures I have of when I was making those boxes, I'll try and insert them here. We'll see. Let's see. Kaylee followed up with another question. In one of my videos, I said I live maybe 80% as a man and are not androgynous about it. How do I hide the development? She says she was only 3 months in at the time, and this is like a year-old question. She feels it pretty darn obvious she's going through female puberty on the top. Well, that's the question I answered. I didn't realize that I put that in there essentially twice, but yes. Layers. Layers are important. Let's see. Someone on Formspring asked how tall I am. 5'6" or 5'7", somewhere in between. I was much closer to being 5'7" before I started hormones, but one of the effects of estrogen is that it shrinks the pad between your vertebrae. So while the bone doesn't shrink, the space between them does, so I seem to have lost approximately an inch, and I'm much closer to 5'6" now than I used to be. Let's see. KCEGAN80, K-Segan. KC Egan 80 on Formspring asks if I would consider putting my male self behind me and just be Brin full-time and maybe get SRS in the future. So there's a little bit packed into this question that some assumptions I'd like to pull out. But first, the basic answer to the question is, at this moment in my life, I'm satisfied with my identity of bigender, of living part-time male, part-time female. I have a partner for whom my gender isn't controversial, so, that's pretty wonderful. I'm not feeling pressured one way or the other by her. I don't have any intentions right now, or desire, necessarily, to transition full-time or live full-time, or, in fact, have any particular surgery. Specifically, I'm not looking for SRS. I'm a little vain, and I would like perhaps some cosmetic surgery, but nothing that I'm going to really pursue right now. And I don't know that I would do it even if I had the funds or the opportunity. But that's right now. I don't know what, me from 10 years from now is going to have to say on the matter or will have done. But I'm pretty satisfied with the way that I'm shaped right now and the life that I'm living. Again, I don't know. But the assumptions that are sort of packed in there is that bigender people have yet to, are basically like what bisexuals get accused of, which is that we just haven't chosen a gender yet, and that it's not an actual identity in and of itself so much as it's sort of a way station between, I don't know, coming to terms with being trans and then actually committing to being a transsexual, or as a way to avoid committing to the transsexual care path, which is, involves doctors and psychiatrists and surgery and hormones and various other things. But, I don't see bigender as that way, much as bisexuals don't see themselves as not having chosen a sexual orientation. Bisexual is their sexual orientation, and it just means that, they are physically attracted to people who present as both sexes, to people of both sexes. And I say both in question marks, but I want to make sure that intersex people are included in that. But pansexual is a friendlier term. But again, it's the same idea that they've just not committed to a sexual orientation. And I've gotten accused a couple of times of just being afraid to transition fully, or, just having not given enough time, or it's sort of this, like, knowing statement, like, well, who knows where you'll be later. And I will gladly say I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years, but I don't know what job I'm going to be doing in 10 years either. So, it's really comes to my inability to predict the future than it does my uncertainty about my identity. I'm pretty confident in being bigender, so I don't have any plans to live full-time. It would be nice if I had the freedom to present either way, at work or at home or wherever, but that's not the world we live in. So, that's how I live right now, is mostly male, and at work, and then out of work, a different percentage of male, sometimes female, other times. Let's see. Oh, the last one is I'm interested in a different cadence of your voice used when you are in male mode and then when you are in female mode. The female voice, in oversimplified terms, is more expressive. How did you develop your female voice and pick up the differences? So, if you've watched any of my videos that have my male presentation, and you've heard my male voice. If you watch any of my videos that have my female presentation, like this one, you hear my best approximation of a female voice. Let's see, I spent a lot of time watching Candy FLA's videos, and I'll throw a link here to her channel, because she's awesome, and she does a lot of really great tutorials for people who don't want to pay for DVD programs or go see a voice therapist, and she's got a lot of really great sort of practical how-tos and that kind of thing. I spent a lot of time around women, so I picked up the cadence and the inflections and the fluctuation in tone from women, because really it's being observant. Like, whenever you're trying to do any kind of presentation, you need to observe people who are sort of doing it without having to think about it, and then trying to emulate there. It's how I learned to do a male presentation, too, because the fact of the matter is I'm not very good at the traditional male presentation. I have to work at it as much as I have to work at a female presentation, meaning that I sort of have to be conscious of some of the basic requirements to get myself kicked off, and then after doing it for a little while, it becomes, you know, sort of automatic. So I didn't do as much practice as I could have, and I think my female voice is not as good as it could be because of that. But really just committing to the voice when you're out, and sort of putting yourself in the position of not being able to fall back, because, you know, I think it's weird if I look like this, but I sound like this. This is my natural voice. This is what I sound like if I'm not working at any particular presentation, and it's a little incongruous with the picture you're seeing on your screen right now. So I had to work really hard at trying to find where the resonance in my voice was, because men resonate down in the chest, women resonate more up in the head. I used to sing in choir in school, so I was familiar with chest voice and head voice and how to move my resonance up, because it has more to do with resonance than it does with pitch. Of course, you have to pitch it a little higher and be willing to modulate your tones rather than having a monotone delivery. So I just did research and paid attention, and research and observation and practice. That's really what it comes down to. So the actual last question is JulieDMarshall on Formspring asked when you're going to be able to see me head to toe. I think I sort of inadvertently did that in my last video, but, you know, just to be safe. This is me, head to toe. That's the shape I come in. All 5, 6, and some change of me. So that's it. So I would love to do more Q&A videos. Please send me questions. I probably should have made that voice one its own video. There's some questions that are worth it. Maybe I'll go back and revisit it as a whole topic some other time, but I'm not really good at how-tos because I'm just trying to figure it out on my own. But yeah, so send me questions here at YouTube. Leave a comment. Send me an email. Go to formspring.me/brinconvenient. Leave me a question there. And join the forum at forum.bigender.net, or create a journal at bigender.net, and you can use code TUBINGU to do it. But that's all I have. So I'm going to end this one on kind of a whimper, not a bang. Have a great weekend.